So this morning I saw a product that may be a modeler killer. Now there are two cool things about this video. The first cool thing is that we are not going to be discussing whether modelers sound and feel like tube amps, but I'm sure if you feel like telling me about it, be sure to do that in the comment section down below. The second thing that's cool about this video is that I'm wearing a flowery t-shirt, I'm sitting on my ball because of back problems, and this video is not sponsored. Because the video is not sponsored, then I'm at liberty to say whatever the fuck I want. There are many cool things about this, so I suggest you grab a cup of coffee and spend the next few minutes with a guy in a flowery t-shirt talking about the Fryette GPDI IR, the new one. You ready? Let's go. So the Fryette GPDI IR is a new device by Fryette. It was actually around for pretty much a long time, but now we have the new and improved version, which is different to the old version because it has an IR loader. And there are also some other differences, like like headroom, FX loop, and stuff like this. They still don't have the manual out, but if you like to hear how the GPDI IR sounds, my suggestion is to go and watch Michael Nielsen's video, because Michael Nielsen really records stuff well so you can actually hear something. Now Steve Fryette is this guy, he is quite a purist and he likes to talk a lot, and not everybody can actually listen to him because he can go on tangents, to say the least. I guess freaks like me, we like spending time watching his videos, so what I had to do is watch a lot of these videos because there is no manual out yet, and then I'm sort of processing this stuff and I'm giving you the processed information so you can decide whether this device is for you or not. So since I'm at liberty to say what I want, I will do my best to critique this whole thing, and I'm gonna start off with saying that this device is not a load box, so you can't play your amplifier without a speaker, because a lot of people, when they see these devices, they expect that it's going to be just another load box. It's not a load box, but it does a whole shit ton of other things. Now, first of all, this GPDI IR is an amplifier. It's like a 1 watt amplifier that has a bunch of different modes, which you can hear in Michael Nielsen's video, and it's gonna do some cleans, it's gonna do some crunchy stuff like deliverance type of stuff, it's gonna do some high gain pitbull stuff, and from what I heard, it sounds pretty damn good. Now, it's completely understandable that some people don't really like Steve's amplifiers, like the voicings of these amplifiers, which is absolutely fine. People generally like Marshalls, but from what I heard, it sounds really, really good. So it offers you a completely analog tube amplifier. So it offers you a completely analog signal path and a full tube amplifier, which is very easy to saturate because it's 1 watt. So it's giving you all the goodiness from tube amps, a really good tube preamp and a tube power amp, which you can saturate and get those harmonics that you would normally get by saturating big power amps. A small tube amp, great. But we had all that. So what's special about this one? The thing that is special, that in this box you're also going to get an IR loader and an analog cab sim, which is absolutely ridiculous, because what you can do is take this device to a gig and then you can send your analog cab sim signal to your sound guy, and you can also tweak the analog cab sim with some potentiometers on this device. You can get some really cool sounds, and you can also use your impulse responses. Now the big question is, can you use the analog cab sim and the IR loader at the same time in a live gig, for example? So analog cab sims have been used by big bands since forever instead of miking their cabinets, and IR loaders are obviously an amazing thing that we can practically today use our favorite IR, we can take it over to a gig. The only problem is that you could possibly have phase issues between these two. Now, this problem is not unsolvable because it really depends on what kind of IRs you have, and there are methods of fixing these phase issues, but it's a thing that it's important to understand, so you just can't go and plug whichever IR you want and go to a gig, because there is a possibility of having phase issues, because the analog cab sim is really like fast. It's like the fastest thing. It's like immediate, and the IRs, because of the mic placement and everything, always has some kind of delay, and it can result in some like bad comb filtering, so they don't exactly work well together. But as I said, there are solutions to that. You just need to pay attention. Another really cool feature is the effects loop. Now, the effects loop can be used in many different ways. The really cool thing about it, other than using the effects loop like a typical effects loop, is that you can actually use this device in conjunction with your tube amplifier, so they would share the effects loop, so you can sort of switch between the GDPIR for a certain sound and your amplifier for a different sound, and it would use the same effects loop. Second thing you can do, you can actually plug in a preamplifier into this, so you can get like a completely different sound and use the GDPIR power amplifier or just like this reamping feature. So basically, if you have a preamp, you can plug it into this device and you can record it silently or play it in your room. Very cool thing. You can also use this device and plug it in the effects loop of your amplifier. I hope that this is not getting too complicated. So basically, you can practically add an additional channel to your amplifier. So that's all good stuff. In fact, it's great stuff. By the way, if you're liking the information that you're getting in this video, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, and like the video, and visit the Slightly Technical Academy at slightlytechnicalacademy.com, because it's a great place where I share knowledge like this. If you want to learn, check the website out. There's some free Tonex packs, tech pages. In general, I'm building a community of people who are wishing to learn and understand these things. So this device can also be used as a reamp box, which is absolutely cool. However, reamping can sometimes be tricky. That's why when you buy a reamp box, it would have a lot of these different ground lifts and phase switches and level control. I can't see all these features on this device, so I wouldn't buy it only for like reamping, but I'm pretty sure that Steve accounted for a lot of these problems, and I'm pretty sure that it could do some decent reamping as well. Whenever I had experience with Fryette gear, it was made always really, really well. And Steve also mentioned that this device also has all the necessary power supply protections, which are very important, and that makes it a very, very good product.